Oh, this is the one with all the faults.
Yeah.
Hi guys.
Welcome back to part 2.
We don't really know what happened. We don't know what happened. We're trying to get everyone back.
Sorry about this.
We're trying to get everyone back. Trying to do that now. We don't know if Melanie's back. We don't even know if the start of that went out or got saved. Melanie, if you're there, hey, just
Yes, if you're there.
technology. Gemma, hi, hey ladies.
Hiya.
Sorry, we don't know what happened. Oh, Melanie, if you're there, can you comment so we can get back to this? We're so sorry. Oh,
This is just the wonder of modern technology.
this is obviously the show with all the faults.
It is. This is the one where it went tits up.
Jamie Russell, Melanie, I'm here. Melanie, we're so sorry. Bring Melanie on
Goodness me.
camera.
Maybe that everyone just thinks their phones.
We don't know what happened.
So
It's probably all my fault. I am just, this is the first time I've done this, but I did notice that.
That's a great.
That's it, yeah.
We're
I
gonna
take
play
blame.
Guys,
That
if
brings
you're
me
just
to
joining
my.
us for the second time,
I always get blamed at
welcome
home.
back. We will cover the entertainment stuff after Melanie's been on. But anyway,
Well, the thing is, it brings me to my point, which you asked me before. Do you think that I have experienced some difficult, energies in the music industry? And I do, I have, but I also noticed that it's always been for something for me to learn. I've not cut out. I do think that life is a mirror, and what I've learned is that it's mostly how I deal and how I shift. When I first started the industry, I was actually in New York one time, and the guys I was with said, we're not going to walk around with you anymore because it's dangerous. I was being almost accosted on every street corner as we were walking down the streets. Guys were coming on to me inappropriately. They were invading my space, saying, hey baby, wow, you're so happening. And literally, Eric Gooden, who was with me in New York, who is my writing partner, still work with today from Bush Records. They were like, and Eric Powell, who we've just been on tour in Australia with, they were like, we're not going to walk down the street with you anymore. We're going to get ourselves killed. And I actually had to really think about this. Have I disappeared? No, I'm here. I don't know, I shifted something within myself. I somehow changed my vibration. It's hard to explain, but I decided that no one was going to enter my space anymore without my permission. And I was aware that something was off. There was something in me that was attracting like my boundaries were not strong. I was giving off the wrong vibe somehow, even though I wasn't trying to do it deliberately. And so I actually made I'm just going to close the door. Drink. I actually made this decision that I was going to change my energy. I wasn't going to be a victim anymore, and that no one was going to enter my space without my permission. And it was not that I said anything. I didn't have to say a word. It was an energetic shift within me. Something changed inside of me where I realized that somehow people felt like they could just invade my space. And I actually went for this big dinner in Los Angeles. I was all dressed. It was nothing to do with the way I was dressed. I was decked out in this tight black dress, high heels. I could still dress up. And I went to the bar and I draped myself over it. And I watched guys coming towards me, and I drew a kind of an energetic, would walk up to the line, kind of stop, look at me, and then walk away. I actually practiced this as an exercise.
And do you ever find, if you ever see inappropriate behaviour within the industry on other singers and performers, as in like right now, do you feel uncomfortable to step in and be like, whoa, this is wrong, like this isn't how you meant to go on? I do. I've seen massively inappropriateness, especially in the modelling an acting
That's
industry,
right.
and I'm quite instantly saying, oh, well, you don't have to give so much away to someone because they say they're going to give you a part. Like, earn the part because of who you are.
You should get it on merit.
You should get it on
for
merit,
that.
not on...
Get it
that
up
you're gonna
and
be kind
believe
of-
and believe
men
that you
abuse
can.
that.
Well, it is, but I think that that's the right approach that you're talking about. That you are trying to empower the actress or the model that you're talking to, and I think that's the point. I think that what I've discovered along the way is that I need to find it within myself so that I can express myself and my voice be heard. I mean, if you are really in your power, you can whisper. You almost don't even have to say anything, just a look, and somebody wouldn't even think about invading your space. And I think that that's what I'm focusing on. I'm focusing on connecting people, connecting myself. That's a full-time job in itself, to my own empowerment within. And I don't mean power over, I mean power with. I don't mean where it's overkill. I think I've done that. I've gone, right, nobody's gonna, I won't swear, nobody's gonna mess with me no more. And I've gone to the other end of the scale where I'm all guns blazing, and somebody says something and I nearly take their head off for next to nothing. I've gone through that, and I'm at a phase in my life now, older, wrinklier but older, where
Don't be silly.
where if I'm connected to not being a victim inside, and that is partly been an organic process for me. I can whisper, I can say nothing, I can just give a look and command that respect. And I always know really when I'm a bit wobbly, because somebody might, you know, invade my space, or they might speak to me inappropriately. But I do feel that I use that as a barometer for where I'm at. And if someone is, you know, in inverted commas, I feel abused by someone, I use the word I, and I'm thinking, how do I shift my approach, my energy, so that that doesn't happen anymore? And I've had to do tons of therapy with the things I've, you know, gone through. I've looked into all sorts of, you know, ways of empowering myself, healing myself. I've read every book going. So I would say my two passions were music and whatever things are out there to kind of help evolve me and with others as well. So I think our culture,
you know what we call that? You know what we call that?
Yeah.
So we have our little spin on exactly what you've just said. We call that leveling up.
So
we call, like, so whoever you are and wherever you are, think, how can I be the best of that?
So
and like level it up. And we live by that mantra. I think we all have.
Where did
to
that,
kind of
I
show
call
the
it,
world.
so that's like balance. That's like, I would say my version of that is coming back to balance, coming into balance. There's like this core wounding that's happened along the way. There's this conditioning. I feel like I'm on that journey of trying to let go. Almost, I'm trying to return to who I think I really am originally. It's like, I feel like I've been, it's not, what I like is the idea that it's not that I'm trying to become something. I'm actually almost trying to return to my authentic self under all the conditioning and the societal lies that we've been told about what you can and can't do and be and say. And I mean, fortunately, in our profession, in the arts, we have a little bit more license to express ourselves. But I was looking at your blog this morning, and I was really touched by it, and how, you know, like you two have come together, and how you're empowering women and people, and saying, you know, you met at a beauty pageant, for goodness sake. That's cutthroat. That's a cutthroat space.
Wow.
I know. Exactly, but you made a great friendship in that space, didn't you?
A best friend. I made a sister. I made a new sister, definitely.
Yeah, more than a sister.
I mean, where we are right now, we're like with the show, we're gonna try and grow the show. But for you in your career, where are you going next? Because we've seen on your Facebook you've been quite busy. You've got a few things here, a few things there. But what's next? Like, are you performing anywhere? Are you doing any new things?
Well, if I'm not performing anywhere, I'm going to end up homeless because performance is one of the last bastions of income. And where you used to be able to, I mean, downloads, look at iTunes, it's going to be actually finished, apparently, finito by 2019. So there is virtually no money in downloads and hardly any record sales. I mean, even some of the biggest bands, I've just been given some figures that blew my mind as to how low they are, even from some normally multi-million. Can you hear? Can you still hear me?
Yes, are we getting an exclusive? Yeah. Can you disclose any of those names?
Well, no, I'm gonna. No, I won't give that away. But that they can command millions in live shows. So what I am. Luckily, the phone's been ringing quite a lot with this. There's been such a research on all the classics and all the 90s. So I'm very grateful to the club world for enabling me to do PAs that are well paid. Like where we met, you can turn up with just a pen drive and do live PAs. The sad thing is that, say, taking my band around, which is, I'm very passionate about the band, is a lot harder. And unless someone's, paying really, really well, you can lose money playing live. So new songs are coming out with, we just recently went on tour with Carl Cox and Eric Powell's Mobile Disco, with my longtime writing partner, Eric Gooden, and my husband, Joe Roberts. A fellow artist from Lover fame, and we had an amazing tour out there, and we are continuing to work with Bush Records. My husband is doing work with Carl Cox. We just sang on, and Eric Powell. We just sang on. We've just been doing a soul reggae tune that my husband's singing on, and I've been doing vocals on, and bludgeoning him through the vocal. So we're doing production, we're doing writing, we're going back in the studio with our longtime writing partner, Eric Gooden. We've been writing with David Morales, and we've got Sweet Mercy from Bush Records are re-releasing some tracks. We're releasing new material through Bush, which is really exciting because we worked with them 20 years ago. So I'm finding that, and I'm getting calls for re-releasing. Everyday Thing is out on MD tracks with new remixes as well, and there's quite a lot of interest in our back catalogue, the old classic hits. One of the good things is they're so far out there back in, they're being recycled, remixed, and re-released. So that then feeds the PAs. That people streaming and listening, you just see 0, 0, 0, 0, and then a 1 on the end of your statement. So that is a major adjustment. It's like going into a restaurant and saying, hey, I'm just going to eat, and then I'm going to download this meal for free, if you don't mind. It's an interesting, a very challenging space for us musicians, because how new bands with no investment and virtually having to pay to play, even if they can get the gigs, how they're gonna survive, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting but we are so passionate about music that we do it whether we're paid or not, as I'm sure you know that feeling in the arts. People think sometimes, oh, it's such a glamorous life, and you're lucky to just be able to go on stage, and they don't realize that there is so much art and craft to be good, to be really good. Have I come back on? To be really good at your profession is because it's like breathing. You do it all the time. So
I agree.
But we will do it. We have a studio in the basement, and we will we cannot help ourselves but carry on being creative.
Do you think that, because as you've just said, everything kind of keeps getting recycled? We've known it as well.
Oh, yeah.
We've seen some new classics coming out, and at first I'm kind of like, I don't even know this song. What is it? But then you kind of get, oh yeah, it's that old tune.
That's that one, yeah.
And I think that's the nice thing about this industry. You kind of sometimes think you're out and gone, but people don't realize you're actually still working really, really, really hard behind the scenes, especially as a musician, because it's like a love, isn't it? Like when you sing, it's like a love, it's like an excitement. And I get that. I really, really do get that. We are coming to our next segment, Melanie, but it has been lovely to have you on the show. Technology wasn't our friend today, but we don't care. We loved it.
I know.
We're going to be sharing everything to do with Melanie, everything that she's got coming up, and all of her links. You want to listen to her?
Can I just mention a few people?
Yeah.
Can I just mention that I'm wearing the amazing Marley and Bone, which is a very, very conscious company that you can check out, Marley and Bone London, and that I just want to do a big up to the charities Hatchfest and Go Brutal and MD Tracks, who's this new label that have just got Everyday Thing out, and that I'm working with these four women project, which is all about celebrating the 100 years of the suffragettes, and with the Manchester District Music Archive, which is all about empowering women and artists in Manchester. And I hope I haven't forgotten anybody, but I just wanted to really leave with them mentioning these friends of mine.
Well, don't worry. All you need to do is send over the links, and we'll actually post them on our page to give recognition on our social medias, and we'll also do it on YouTube. So thank you for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure and a really interesting.
See you despite our technological problems.
Thank you.
See
you later. Oh, she lived her life.
Oh,
I mean, she has. Well, we're going to just backtrack a little bit quickly. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Right.
So now that's what I call a talk show. I'm Faye.
And I'm Justin.
Oh, we're bringing you entertainment.
And
well, anyway, we're bringing we're bringing you entertainment, discussion, fashion, and news. We're going to talk about RuPaul, how crap it was. We're going to talk about The Voice. It's just suddenly leveled up. We're actually going to talk about Dancing on Ice. Jake won the Coronation Star was so devastated. Also, Jim Davison, basically, he's a wanker. Okay, moving over. Breathe. And moving over to discussion. We are hoping Paul is out there somewhere to bring him in for the discussion part. So, Paul, if you're out there, please let us know. Oh, Paul. Yay. Oh, yay. That's what it's called. Oh, it was horrible. God, that was such a quick...
we also sorry about
it was fun, though.
Yeah.
It was.
Oh,
yay!
Oh, and he's just...
Oh, he's gone.
And he's gone.
Light's bad.
Can you turn your volume up?
Light's bad. Right? The volume up. Volume's up.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, welcome. How are you?
Can't see me though. Not bad, yourself?
Really, really good. Really pleased to have you on the show to start our second part of the discussion. We had so many technical hitches. It went off, it broke.
Yeah.
Melanie lost connection.
It was
so funny. We started laughing. But our first discussion topic, we want you on the show to join us for it. So we are discussing if you're dating somebody and then suddenly they disclose to you that they are transgender. We put a poll up this month. We put a poll up to ask how people would feel and would they reject or would they not. Obviously, we have our opinion.
Well, the results of the poll is about 87% said they wouldn't have a problem, but the other percent said that they would have a problem with it. And the reason we kind of put that poll out is because me and Faye both think that if somebody wasn't interested in dating us just because we're transgender, We think that's all right. We don't think that people should be shamed for their preferences.
Someone can have a preference to date somebody, and if they don't want to date a transgender person, I think that's their preference. And what we're hating to see is men and women be kind of labelled transphobic, and they call you cisgender, but I'm just going to call you man. From a man's point of view, would that be something that you would kind of look past and kind of get another person? Or for you as a guy, is it just kind of, well, it's just not my thing? Because if that is, I feel that's fine. We just wanted your opinion on that.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a girlfriend anyway, so you know, I don't have to think about that, and I've got long-term plans with her. So for me, I suppose I'm off limits. Yeah. But like you, I believe everyone is entitled to their own opinion on the subject. I think that it may be a social and cultural thing, why people do or don't. I don't think that you should disregard anything. I think people should just be left to make their own choices. I've got friends that are transgender, so you know, I'm not going to differentiate any other way as much as I wouldn't from a gay or a person of colour. You know, I come from a family where colour's in the family. These things are really hyped up, and I think a lot of people like to label and blame, and I just think that people should just be accepting across the board that we are allowed to do whatever makes us happy and be done with it.
I totally agree. One thing I will say, and this is people will probably say it's shocked, I personally wouldn't date a girl who transitioned to be a guy if she'd said, oh, I'm transgender, and was actually identifying as a boy. For me, I wouldn't want to date him. Exactly. Well, so for me, that wouldn't be me being transphobic. It would just be my personal preference. And I agree with exactly what you just said. Whatever makes you happy, you should be allowed to do. That includes transitioning, being gay, dating someone who is transgender, and also deciding not to date somebody who's transgender. But enough of that old LGBT crap, if I'm honest with you, because it does get to my head. We wanted to discuss life after The Apprentice. We saw you recently at a fashion event supporting children in need. And our question for you is, obviously, what have you been doing after Apprentice? And also, did Madame Tussauds ever get in touch to get the waxwork done for you? Did that not happen?
Yeah, they've been in touch. They said that there's just no interest. They said that there's zero interest. Yeah, it's a non-starter. You know, it's a non-starter. So I did beg and plead and cry, but they said no. We just can't do it, Paul. I'm sorry. So I've got to take that one on the chin. So yeah, me and Tussauds are not friends. Definitely not. As far as what's been going on subsequently post Apprentice, there's been quite a lot. Obviously, I already had my marketing agency when I went on to the show, and my plan was to invest in that and then to drive that business forward. And that's kind of just happened. I think that being on the show has given me a platform and enabled me to step up. It kind of weirdly validates you. As much as everyone laughs at us for sort of our idiotic responses to some of the tasks, at the same time, people start to actually take you more seriously as a business person, which is kind of, it doesn't add up, but you know, that's social for you. Quite a lot's going on. Just touching back on the LGBTQ thing, I've actually been asked by a couple of charities to do a calendar. So I've decided to agree with that, and that's going to be diversity champions, and I can't remember what the other one is, but it'll come back to me. So yeah, two charities should benefit from that, as well as me, obviously, because I get my face out there, which is brilliant. I work with the guys that run the Diversity and Media Awards. I've set up a new business in tandem with those guys, and it's focused on digital training and diversity in the workplace and stuff like that. So I'm really attached to it at the moment, and you know, I'm championing that. And through that business, we're trying to focus on a little bit more social responsibility. So we're looking to work with some charities that are working with maybe some of the people that would struggle to get the best of education, or they've got learning difficulties, because what we're trying to do is use digital skills to enable social mobility. Part of the ethos of the training company is that we teach to do. I know that sounds a little bit monkey see, monkey do, but actually I don't believe that just because you can't write a marketing strategy for some reason, that you can't articulate it to someone and someone else can take those notes. So, you know, we're trying to remove those barriers to employment and help those most that need into good earning jobs, because, you know, the whole digital sphere is part and parcel of day-to-day business. So hopefully that will come off. Also involved in some modelling stuff, as you well know. I'm sure that was you saying about, was it you screaming at me to take my top off in the main road, and you're saying that.
We followed you, and we're actually outside your front door right now. So we've been stalking you for a while, yeah. But I mean, you know,
really?
Wink, wink.
Yeah, so yeah, things are good. I've been asked to work with a guy called Stephen North. He's a film producer. I'm not going to really elaborate on that, but there's some stuff going on around TV show potential and some acting stuff. So I've been taking some lessons. Might as well let people know. So yeah, there's quite a lot on the horizon, but I'm still in love with doing the marketing. So I'm always going to want to do that. I'm always going to, you know, want to work in with people in education. I teach at a college as well. So yeah, it's been varied but great. And obviously I like to get out and talk, and you know, I haven't shut up since you asked the question. So there you go.
Well, you just actually touched on a note of reaching back with your company. The actual premise of Now That's What I Call a Talk Show is being launched. We've actually just launched our blog. But what we're wanting to do is reach back to individuals who may have mental health or really can't leave the house due to their disability and are kind of forced to take on benefits, and it's kind of, it's not helping them, it's kind of enabling them. We want to kind of create jobs with this company, as in we do videos, we do blogs where they can actually do it from home. So they can get a job with our company, but they don't actually have to leave the house. We're not forcing them to do things that they really aren't comfortable, but we're actually pointing the light on them and letting them shine in their own safe environment. Right. That's the premise of where we're leading to. So we're kind of on the same page there. I like that. I really like that.
Yeah, I mean, I really like that idea, because I think what people fail to realise is that so many people now are delivering across the internet, which takes me to something else that I want to sort of mention whilst we're here. Last year, I was invited down to, well, up to Nottingham Prison, and I went in and sort of had a look around, saw what was going on, and I spoke to, I don't know, probably 100 or so of the inmates there, and I was really disappointed with what inmates are offered on the way out. You know, I believe that the government's got the best of intentions with these schemes, but you know, let's be real. If you've got someone who's been selling drugs and earning a couple of £1,000 a week doing it, and then on the way out of prison, you say you can go and work in B&Q or Greg's Bakers, it's easy to see what the guy's going to do. I mean, he's not going to go and work for £6 or £8 an hour and turn down what he knows puts him, you know, a few £1,000 a week in front. So one of the things that I'd really like to do, and I'd really like to find people that would want to get behind this, is start a rehabilitation through digital skills within the prison system, because these people that work remote, you know, graphic design, web design, we can teach all of that, right? So these people don't have to come into your workplace, and they can then have a career option that really is going to give them the opportunity to succeed in life. You know, you could go and earn 30, 35, 40,000 pounds a year from home, just with the right training and the right equipment. And, you know, that's something that I'd really like to get off the ground. So if anyone watching sort of wants to get in touch, please get in touch with the girls, and, you know, we would love to
support that and really help as much as we can. Obviously, as we've said to Melanie, any links that you want us to share, please send them over, because we put them on every post. And we also put them on our website and our YouTube. So we really want to help whatever you're doing and your kind of journey we want to progress. With everything you're doing, when do you get time for, as you said, your partner? You're such a busy man.
I'm quite lucky. We're really supportive of each other, and her job takes her out of the country a bit. So she gets to travel. I'll get my time. But you know, we're really dedicated to make sure that each other's business interests are part of our lives as well as not. So there's definitely times where I'm not allowed to have my phone. I'm not allowed to check emails and you know, definitive, structured, no phone days, which kind of is good because we tend to get into a Sunday where we've got a bit of a box set Sunday, cook some dinner, bottles of wine. You know, we're like normal couples, but it's just that we're both, you know, running our own companies. She works for a large company, but she runs her own company on the side. And yeah, I think that's probably indicative of a lot of relationships in this world at the moment.
I love that. I feel that with my partner as well. My partner's actually a sergeant at the army, and I really push him to like do the best ever. So I get the bigger pension. I mean, so he gets a better job in the end. But what I love about him is he really supports everything I do. There's not a case of you do this, I do that. It's kind of a case of what can we create together. I'm just going to jump in a second as well. Michael Fisher, you are still needed. You're going to be coming on next. Sorry, I think he was just getting a bit worried. But what I love about that, this day and age, I think people have lost the support in a relationship. I always feel people are kind of, now I see people in relationships kind of try and drag each other down. It's refreshing to hear from yourself that you and your partner are like that, because me and my partner are like that. And I feel sometimes I look out and I don't think partners are part of a team. They're kind of against each other sometimes.
Yeah, well, I think the thing with relationships nowadays, people just don't that is.
Well, I've always been a big fan of there is no honeymoon stage. It always should be the honeymoon stage. So we can all have fun, and it can be a really nice kind of relationship where you better yourselves by bettering each other.
Yeah, and support's part of the growth process, right? Relationships need to grow on a consistent basis.
Oh, it froze.
I thought it froze. Sorry. So you've got your fingers in all the pies, and you are working so hard. We've recently, obviously, watched Andrew on Celebrity Big Brother. What shows would you love to kind of do as a reality? I mean, I would personally love to do The Jungle.
I would do that. No, not dancing, no nice.
No.
Strictly come dance.
What would you love to do if you could get offered any reality show that is, you know, one of the really good ones, one of the big ones? Which one would you really want to get into?
I mean, if there was like the opportunity, I would probably like to do The Jungle or Strictly, I think.
Yeah. Well, we've got good taste, and that's one thing I really like. But honestly, it's been absolutely fabulous getting to know you better, hearing your story, and seeing the exciting things you do now. We just want to thank you from me and me, and we hope you'll have all the success in your next projects.
Brilliant. Thanks for inviting me in.
Not a problem. We'll touch base soon, and don't forget to send us over the links. Everybody, go check Paul out. He's doing big things. See you later, darling.
Bye.
That worked. Yay. Oh my god, he's doing so much. See, this is the thing. What you don't see what's going on behind the scenes.
Exactly. That is like after reality show.
Absolutely. Well, guys, it's now time for that what I call fashion.
So the biggest news in fashion this week is sadly Givenchy passed away. Now Givenchy, not Da Vinci. And he was probably best known for creating the look of the little black dress.
Yeah, we've all got one.
It should be a staple in every lady's closet.
But don't forget the good old scrunchie.
Oh, God. And a nice pattern jacket.
Well, I've still got my pin-up Adidas trousers. I'll get them out for the next show.
Oh, please do. Please do.
So on this section, we want to hear from you. What staple outfit, little black dress, scrunchie, pair of heels that are so classic that everyone's got them, do you have? Get in touch, let us know, message our page. Moving straight on to now that's what I call the news. We're going to bring in our very good friend, Michael Fisher. He is going to be talking to us about everything weed.
This will be very interesting.
This will be very interesting. We've been so excited to have him on the show. He should be joining us soon. So he started and launched Tea Guides. There he is. Hello. Hey, everyone.
Hello.
You're live at the club.
So,
Can you hear us okay?
just going to try and turn the volume up. 2 seconds. We know that this is bigger. I'm going to be careful.
Can you hear us okay now?
Yeah, we can hear you perfect. Right,
Right, over in the corner over here,
Hi.
we have Christine. And we have Steve.
Hi, Steve.
We have George. We have another Steve. And we have a Sean.
Hey, guys.
Hi.
You have a stretch.
How are you?
It's just starting off at the club now, so it's quite quiet really.
No music, no telly, no.
Hello.
Right, well, let's get to know you a bit better. Can you tell us and all of our fans what you do and who you are?
Right. My name's Michael Fisher. I started the club around about 4.5 years ago. Over the last 4 years, we've campaigned to reach the point that we're at now, where we have the UK's technically termed only legal cannabis club. It's situated in Middlesbrough, which isn't far from Newcastle. We have around 187 members that pay annually each year £35 to come join the club. We're open 2 days a week, a Wednesday and a Saturday currently, with more days being looking to be added upon. We also have special events at Christmas and New Year parties, do birthday parties. We're currently looking for bigger premises in Middlesbrough, but we're also looking to branch out to North Wales, and we're looking to branch out to Durham area as well.
And is there others? Is there ones in Newcastle? Is there ones in Darlington, London? Are they the new kind of speakeasy? I mean, you remember America when alcohol was banned? They had speakeasies. Are you the new speakeasy for the local joint?
I would say that we've moved beyond speakeasy now, with us being in so many publications. We've been the victim of so many documentaries recently, having Jeremy Carlin with us. We've had Professor Green do a documentary with us. We were featured in a half-an-hour documentary for Inside Out on BBC One. We're one of the most public illicit speakeasies, if you put it that way, that are out there. We don't hide what we do. You can sign up online if you don't know a member. If you do know a member, your member can just bring you down and we'll sign you up. We just offer a safe consumption room for people who enjoy smoking cannabis, consuming cannabis, or whatever variation of cannabis it is they enjoy.
So can you tell us, and like for all the people watching, what is the legal status now of cannabis? What class of drug is it? And what like laws surrounding cannabis use?
Sorry, what was that again? Chris. Sorry.
So what are the laws?
Yes, what's the laws of cannabis use in this country?
Oh, the law currently for what we're doing. The law currently as it stands is it's illegal for us to do what we're doing, for what we're operating. We were very lucky. 2 seconds. George, we keep them quiet. We were very lucky at the beginning when we first started doing this, that 6 months in, not our local police force, which is Cleveland Police, but our neighbouring police force, Durham Police, Ron Hogg, got in touch with us. Off the back of Ron Hogg getting in touch with us, that gave us a little bit of, so we say we got an inch and we ran a mile, so we were able to do a little bit more with it under the authorities' permission, having full transparency. We work closely with Cleveland Police, we work closely with Durham Police. Recently we had North Wales Police Crime Commissioner Arthur Jones up here. He came up to see how the club was run, wanted us to implement setting up a club in North Wales of a similar kind of thing. So regardless of what the current law states, I think the fact is that police forces can't afford to police the laws with the money that they're given. And I think the only way that the police can afford to go around prioritising crime is to pick what crimes need prioritising, and cannabis is not. We've had over 300 events done outdoors. We've never had no police harassment. We've never had no police arrests. We've had incidents in the paper where the police have been called, but mainly over music licence at a cannabis factory, for instance. Nothing to do with the cannabis, it was to do with the music licensing of the festival. All in all, we have a lot of support. We've got support from Law Enforcement Against Prohibition, which is called LEAP. We've got a lot of support from Release UK, which is another charity that works for people. We've got a lot of support from high-up MPs. We've got support from doctors. We've got support from people that work in all sorts of law enforcement. It's no longer just one madman by the self trying to tell people that this can be done. It's now a group of people, a team of people that have all joined me, and we all spread the word together to show that this can be done. We're now 15 months into doing this. We're on our second premises. We hope to be in our third premises by the end of the year. Our current square feet that we use is approximately 400 square feet, but on monthly event feet within the next 6 months, and focus fully on the Teesside area. These clubs exist all around the UK. The problem is that a lot of police forces don't have the same views as our police force have. We're very lucky that we have good relationships with the police, and in that case, I'm willing to open up my doors and speak to the police, obviously, of their concerns, and I'll give them a valid argument as to why I feel this needs to happen in this area, but not why I feel it needs to happen in this area, why I feel it needs to happen around the country. These clubs are happening all over the
How
UK.
far away from being legalised do you think we are? I mean, I personally feel it should be legal for obviously the medical kind of benefits as well. How far are we away from it being legal?
I think we're going to see medical access within the next maybe 2 to 5 years easy, but I think as for recreational use, you're talking maybe 10, 15 years. The back door into recreational is medicinal use, and I think once we see medicinal use enter, we'll see after that recreational use come in. Bottom line is, look what we're doing here today. As you can see, this is just the club's just opening now and starting to fill out. Another hour or so, this club will be chocker. This could be happening around the UK in every town, in every centre. You could have 4 or 5 of these clubs. For every nightclub that closes, for every pub that shuts, these would spring up and take place. Most people know someone that smokes cannabis. Someone deserves a safe space, a safe environment to go and smoke cannabis with people that aren't going to judge them, that haven't got an opinion on what they're doing or what they do, how they live their life, and don't care whether you come from being on the dole or whether you work as a lawyer. Everyone's welcome amongst the cannabis consumer, and I think that's the key.
Do you think also if the clubs got more of a open everywhere, they would actually create some jobs, maybe? Like they would actually be creating some jobs?
Most definitely jobs will be created off the back of cannabis being legalised or decriminalised in the UK. It's going to create a hell of a lot more jobs. If you look at the North East alone, the North East doesn't really get any of the good end of the stick when it comes to down London and what the Tories are kicking out. If you look at in York alone, we've got a hemp field that's currently supplying hemp. Forget hemp, if we look at what GW Pharmaceuticals are doing, they're growing actual cannabis medicine that can be used, can be exported, and can be used abroad. Now, if we take away all these pharmaceutical companies, take away all these MPs that are currently doing this, and we turn these kind of trades over to the normal working man, we'd have fields flourishing in hemp, we'd have fields flourishing in cannabis, and we'd have, why should the UK be the only legal, the highest legal exporter of medicinal cannabis, yet it's illegal in the UK alone?
Bro, you're ringing over here, bro.
I think the fact that we can kind of sit and have the conversation kind of speak volumes, because I think maybe 2 or 3 years ago we wouldn't maybe have been able to speak about it as publicly, but I think that is definitely how we think that it is going to become legal soon, obviously like in 10, 15 years, but 10, 15 years goes quite quickly.
Also, look at the TV show that was on ITV when she still takes it now because it actually helped her.
Well, that's the crazy thing in America. They haven't legalized it, so why?
We think the UK seems to be dragging the feet, yet the NHS is struggling massively. We're in so much debt, but wouldn't it make us a richer country if we made it legal?
Exactly. There's billions of pounds that can be freed up from this, but billions of pounds won't be freed up from this while the pharmaceutical companies have their claws in the pie, and that's the problem. It's illegal for you or I to grow cannabis, but it's not illegal, it's just the fact we don't have a license. If that license was granted to you, granted to me, granted to our grandma, why do we need to take all these pharmaceutical drugs? We don't. The sooner the government figure out a way to tax all of us to be able to enjoy and consume the cannabis medicine that we want access to, you'll see the pharmaceutical companies start to release the grip on the trade. If you watch over at what happens in America, if you watch what happens in other countries, the UK doesn't tend to follow far behind. Canada's currently looking at ways of legalising it. They know it's massive business, they know it's £1 billion business. The UK is suffering massively, in the North East suffering massively. And like, when I started out doing this, to make a difference for myself and for people around me. But what's happened is over the 4 years, the snowball effect happened. And we've now got a whole nation that's taking part and taking note of what we're doing. These clubs are springing up all over the UK, they're continuing to spring up, and even the ones that get arrested, get raided, get shut down, they still spring open, they still reopen. They're never going to go away, this problem's never going to go away. The only way to fix this problem is to work with people like myself and have someone in place like myself, or have an organisation in place like Club Excel that can regulate the body while the government can't regulate the body, working with the authorities.
2 seconds, Michael. Have you got a good signal? Just we're getting told it keeps going off. Is your signal okay?
Yeah, our signal seems fine. I think it's just the club's getting a little bit busier. I think it's just we're picking up a bit more noise now from people coming in.
Okay, so what's next? What is next for you with this and with everything that you're working for? Are we going to be seeing you at Parliament? Are we going to be seeing different things happening?
Parliament. Yeah, you'll see us at Parliament on the 6th of July. We'll be there to support. Also, we'll have an event going on the 420 of April to support the 420 celebrations. We'll also have a few events going on throughout the year, but we're open, like I said, with us being open weekly, we get members from all over the country that drop in. It doesn't matter whether there's a special event or not, because we are the only club in the UK that basically has police backing. It offers a lot of support to people to come in, sit down, smoke, and know that they're not going to get any harassment. And I think that's the main thing. We offer a taste of Amsterdam in the UK, or a taste of Spain in the UK.
Well, what we're finding, I think, obviously, a lot of people are saying it's cutting off. So we're going to ask you this one question. We want to kind of come down to the club and maybe interview you in the club so we can actually get more of a feel of the club. Would you be up for that? Can we get a membership?
No, that's absolutely fine. We can bring you down. If you let me know when you want to come down, we're open on a Wednesday and we're open on a Saturday. My partner, Miss Teesside Cannibalist, Chris Rouse, who you met at the beginning, she's actually hosting the ladies' night, so I don't know if you'd like to attend that as well, or if you'd like to attend both.
It sounds very interesting. We will definitely be in touch. We want to thank you for joining us, and we want to, just to clarify, we completely agree with everything you've said, and we hope that your dream of this becoming more of a reality for everybody to legalise hope comes true very soon.
That's brilliant, and I look forward to having you visit the club.
Not a problem. Thank you so much for your time. See you later.
See you later. Keep in. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Chris.
All out.
You'll have to
see you later, girls.
Michael, cancel the call.
We've still got it.
Here we go. Well, guys, no. We don't know what you saw of that because the connection in that club was the worst. We had technical problems. He had the worst technical problems. But for you and for you only, we're going to go down. We're going to go down next week or the week after. But if it's open during the week, and we're going to do a pre-recorded interview for everybody. It'll be on our page in the next few days. And I think that'll be more of an in-depth conversation for us to be able to speak to him about everything. So we'll do a full episode on that. We did a poll about legalisation of cannabis, and the poll said yes.
Majority of people said yes. to be legalized.
Well, let's get to the news. So, the student that was racially abused.
So this happened in Nottingham University. Some girl had been kind of for the students planting outside the door racial abuse, and the student who was getting abused was black, and they were basically saying, "We hate black students, go away, go back where you came from," kind of thing. She posted that video online, and it got over 500,000 views. The result of her putting that online is that 2 people have actually been arrested in connection with it. And I just think it's crazy that things like this are kind of happening in universities. Universities are normally very liberal places where people are very progressive. We heard a radio show the other day about non-binary and gender-neutral, gender-fluid identities. And majority, if not all, people interviewed but at university, or as it all said, when I was at university, I discovered I was gender-neutral, non-binary. So it's just really strange how in an environment which is so progressive, there can be people who do have really, really backward views. But
they do have backward views, and I think this knocks us the show is technology stuff I just want to stick you in the head and not play nice. So goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.
It's been one hell of an episode. We loved everybody of our guests. We're going to be posting this very soon. And don't forget, we will have our interview with the Cannabis Club leader, I would say, Michael Fisher, very soon. We want to thank all of our guests, and we want to apologise. It wasn't our fault. Just no. So basically, as dull as RuPaul was, is bad technology. This was. Goodbye, guys.
Ciao.